Welcome to Burning Bright, a weekly podcast presenting poetry and prose from Passenger. In 1974, San Francisco gay activist and later city councilman Harvey Milk asked Gilbert Baker to create a symbol of pride for the gay community. What Baker came up with was a flag with several stripes of different colors, the original rainbow flag. It had its official debut June 25, 1978, in San Francisco's Gay Freedom Day parade. Later that year, Harvey Milk was assassinated, a few other artists tweaked the design of the rainbow flag, and the flag still flies today, a continuing symbol of LGBTQ+ pride and acceptance. Mary Cronin said she's a student of history, a lesbian, an educator, and a poet who seeks to bring underrepresented voices and untold stories to the page. Here's her poem, Silent. It begins with the epigraph, Emergency Room Nurse, 1947. Barely 20, he huddles silent on the gurney, all knuckles and knees, one eye wide, one swollen shut. He's not talking, but I can read the story on his body. Abrasions, contusions, lacerations. Some punks worked him over like a side of beef. They nearly killed my brother that way, tried to beat the sissy out of him, like this kid. It won't work, bastards. It won't work. Mary Cronin's poem, Silent, from Passenger, issue 75, the 2023 Poetry Contest issue. Karen Hones said that her poem, Dear Friend, I Remember, is from a series about her friends and next-door neighbors Paul and Tom, who died of AIDS. It begins with the epigraph, In Memory of Tom Sullivan. A typical night at the Stud, tall buds, poppers on the dance floor. You threw up the burrito from La Rondalla. Then we linked arms and stumbled home to apartments that were side by side. Later, under a full moon, we sat on the back porch. You said, I want someone to take care of me, just out of earshot of your lover Paul, who was busy making soup. I see you now as you were then, the most beautiful boy from River Rouge, backlit by moonlight, a beer in one hand, an unfiltered Camel in the other. Already thin, you were soon wasting away like the other men up and down Castro Street. They called it the gay plague, and if I'd known what was coming, I'd have numbed myself even more. Nothing could be done. You were gone. Alone at home, the back door closed to keep the cat in, I sat on a hard chair at the kitchen table where we used to sit, looking out at the coffin factory. Lights went on in the hills. Fog covered the houses, gradually, like an erasure. Dear Friend, I Remember, Karen Hones from Passenger, issue 74, the trauma issue. Karen said, so many healthy men were infected with AIDS virus in the 80s and died in the 90s. We need to remember them. Patti Ruskey said, a few years ago I was planting in my garden. On May 5th, I flipped over a toad with my trowel. We were both surprised. With the recent death of my wife, I realized in death more depth and connection can be made in all life. So we had a conversation of sorts. Here's Patty's poem, May 5th. I flipped a hibernating toad with my trowel when digging for a crabgrass runner in my garden. Eyes squeezed tight. Was it annoyed? Its cold limbs not yet outstretched. I thought it good I was never early. It was not too early to wake a toad. I contemplated the heirloom tomatoes I had planted last year with my wife's ashes. What if this toad was my wife? She liked to sleep late and always tucked her cold feet into unwanted places. I thought about the ecosystem, trying to regain balance as I too was trying to find my footing. Rolling her back into place, I delicately cover her with loose dirt and warm straw. May 5th, Patti Ruskey, from Passenger, issue 75, the 2023 Poetry Contest issue. To subscribe to or learn more about Passenger and its commitment to writers over 50, go to PassengerBooks.com. You can download Burning Bright from Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, and various other podcast apps. For Kendra, Mary, Christine, Roseanne, and the rest of the Passenger staff, I'm John Shore.